And my next two speakers who are going to come up are Tanya Hillman and Cathy Jameson. And they're going to be busting a few myths. Now, I have it on authority that they could be talking about one of two things. That they're either going to get up here and they're going to talk about working effectively together, or they're going to talk about sustainability and fertilisation. And we're not going to know which of those two topics they're going to choose until we see their first slide. But give them a round of applause. Coming up, ladies.
Let's start with a question. Work and place. Do those two concepts even live in the same sentence anymore? I think we've moved beyond the singular architectural paradigm of everyone coming together in one place, in one time to work. So work has actually moved beyond an individual process-driven activity towards the collective and the collaborative. And I would argue, and space actually is about a platform to support an incredible ecosystem of activities. So I want to put it out there that I think the sustainable workplace is actually a work mindset, and it's based on innovation, agility, and collaboration.
Okay, if I hear that again, I'm going to puke. What does collaboration really mean? It is such a buzzword. Every client thinks it's a silver bullet, magic silver bullet. I'll tell you what it is. It's number one on bullshit bingo, right next to value added.
Oh, Cathy, get off your high horse. Come on. You know, collaboration has liberated us from the desk. You know, there's all this amazing proof that collaboration leads to greater innovation, greater creativity. In fact, our collective mindset is actually the basis for the knowledge economy. And we all know that the sum of the whole is much greater and much smarter than the sum of the parts.
All right, okay, so when we walk around our office, the collaboration I'm hearing is I hear a bit of some recipes. I can see a lot of Pinterest going on, some Facebook, unfortunately some Tinder. And I can tell you that open plan communication does work because I know all about the Real Housewives of Melbourne without having watched one episode.
But Cathy, what planet are you on? Like, we're rewired. We're living in another space now, another time where actually the boundaries between work, space, place, life, they're blurred, or maybe they're non-existent. So those people that you see tweeting and liking and posting, you know, they're likely to be working in transit, in the supermarket queue, on holidays. You know, this is a great opportunity for efficiency and productivity.
Why on earth should they? Why should they be working in their spare time? So you say blurring the boundaries. I actually say eroding the boundaries. Life is a 24-hour work cycle. We're obsessed with our technology. In the paper today, people are checking Facebook during sex. Where's the time for me?
You can't blame technology. We love technology. Who here can't say that they've been enabled, empowered, maybe sometimes a bit driven by the stuff that these IT nerds give us? Technology means that our space can be as collective or personal, as big or small, as local or regional as we want it to be.
Okay, so collective's all very well, but also my favourite saying is a camel is a horse designed by a committee. So what we really need is people who can focus and have permission to be by themselves, really innovate and really create.
By themselves. Do you know that the workplace today is actually the heart of our social lives? That people actually come into the office to connect, for self-validation, for those social engagements. And the workplace is actually a critical part of building community, building trust, building knowledge.
Look, I do agree that knowledge transfer is incredibly important, especially in the context of business sustainability. And we do need to cater for these things. I'll admit that.
All right. Well, just to take your analogy of horses just that little bit further, it is about horses for courses. Collaboration does have a lot of faces, and can you imagine imposing a Google-esque workplace environment complete with whiteboards, slippery dips and beanbags on these type of collaborative workers? Some workers do need specialist equipment in dedicated environments.
Okay, so what we're really saying is that we don't really have the vocab to talk about collaboration. So if we look at the Swedes, they have 50 words for snow. It's probably a bit of an urban myth, but it really demonstrates how important snow is to their culture. And if collaboration is key to what we see as the success of business and the success of many aspects of our life, shouldn't we have more ways to describe it? Shouldn't we have more words that really talk about the nuances?
Do you know, I think you're onto something there, because I think because we've only got the one term, it can be applied in a blanket way, and it's often misunderstood or misused. The reality is that there's a whole abundance of activities that need to happen, and I think once we start to unpack these and appreciate these, then we're better placed to design spaces to support tools, facilities to actually enable this work to happen.
Okay, look, we know we've got a pretty good starting point. There's some tried and tested things that work. We know that flexible furniture, lots of places to ride on, lots of places to sustain you, but it's really a small part of the puzzle.
Yeah. Do you know what? I'm thinking about delegation. You know, that's a critical part of collaboration, but there are so many digital platforms that we can use to assign tasks, to track, to report, to share. You know, Basecamp, Podio, Yammer. And this opens up incredible opportunities for tapping into bigger pools of resourcing, working beyond time and space.
Yep, I suppose working beyond time and space too, taking it to that next step, the nuance of cooperation. It's different from collaboration. It's taking the thought that's already been invented, so to speak, refining it, reviewing it in smaller groups. And it's not about that big, crazy, creative brainstorm. It's working in a very different manner.
And just thinking, collaboration is often associated in a physical sense with whiteboards. Well, I would like to suggest that we need to give a bit more thought to white space. Picasso talks about solitude. He says without solitude, no serious work can happen. And so we really need to think about providing spaces where people can take away their ideas, reflect, concentrate, process in order to come up with innovative solutions.
Okay, I do like that you're on my page now. I'll jump back onto your page. The provocation environment, something that's away from what's familiar. That's really important. That's why the success of co-working spaces, for example, like the Hub. It's like a speed dating, corporate speed dating. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know who's going to turn up, and that makes the day exciting.
Do you know what? It's that unknown that I think we need to grasp hold of. I think our perspectives are starting to collide here, because I think the sustainable workplace is one that needs to be a platform to support transforming business. And I think as designers, that's an incredible challenge and inspiration. Thank you.
Thank you.